Let's assume the rate of depreciation is 10% per annum. So in case of the straight line method, what do? We simply calculate 10% of 5 lakh, which is 50,000, right? This is the depreciation of the first year. Okay, and then we will determine the closing value of the asset at the end of the year. Closing value of the asset at the end of the year will be considered as 4,50,000, right? If we had purchased an asset for rupees 5 lakh and we calculated the charge depreciation of 50,000 of 1 year, considering the rate of depreciation at 10% per annum. So at the end of the year, at the end of 1 year, value of the asset will remain 4,50,000, right? And like, let's suppose in the next year, you need to calculate depreciation again. So second year's depreciation, how and on what value you will be calculating depreciation? Tell me. On what value you will be calculating depreciation at the rate 10% per annum? On what value, on which value, whether you will calculate depreciation on this value or you will calculate depreciation on this value, 5 lakh or 4,50,000, tell me. If we are following the straight line method, then on which value we will calculate depreciation? We will calculate depreciation at the opening value, at the value at which the asset was originally purchased. All right. So that means in the second year as well, depreciation will remain same. We will calculate 10% of 5 lakhs, which will be 50,000. All right. So at the end of the second year, what will be the closing value of the asset? At the end of the second year, closing value of the asset will be 4,50,000 minus 50,000. That means closing value of the asset will be 4 lakh. Is that right? And now let's also assume that if we need to calculate depreciation for the next year as well, like if we need to calculate depreciation for the third year as well, then again we will calculate depreciation on the same value. We will again calculate depreciation on 5 lakh. We will calculate depreciation at 10% 5 lakh, which will be again starting depreciation at 10% per annum at the opening value, which is 5 lakh. That will be again 50,000. That means what I'm trying to explain, that in case of the straight line method, depreciation is always calculated at the opening book value of the asset, and the amount of depreciation will always remain same under the straight line method. We will be calculating depreciation every time at the opening value. Like in the first year, we must have calculated depreciation on 5 lakh at the rate of 10%, which will be 3,000. Then again in the second year as well, we will be calculating depreciation on the 5 lakh itself at the rate 10%, and this way we will again get 50,000. And in the third year as well, we will calculate depreciation at the opening value of the asset at the rate of 10% per annum, and therefore we will get the same 50,000 as depreciation. And at the end of the third year, closing value of the asset will be 3,50,000. Got it? Is that clear? This is what we used to do under the straight line method. I hope this is clear, everybody. And you are also able to recall the concept regarding the straight line method, that every time we need to calculate depreciation under the straight line method, we calculate that at the opening value of the asset every time. But in case of the written down value method, we have a different technique of charging the depreciation. Like for example, if you talk about the written down value method, if you need to calculate depreciation for the first year, assuming the rate of depreciation is again 10% per annum, so this will be calculated as in the first year, depreciation will be on 5 lakh into 10%. That means it will be 50,000. So for the first year, depreciation will be 50,000. And at the end of the first year, the closing value will be 4,50,000 in this case as well, just like the straight line method. You understand that? For the first year, everything will remain same. First year's depreciation. But now in the second year, depreciation will be calculated on which value? We will be calculating depreciation on which value? This is the closing value of the first year. So under the written down value method, we calculate depreciation on the closing value of the asset, not on the opening value of the asset. You understand that? Instead of calculating depreciation on the initial book value of the asset, we will calculate the depreciation on the remaining balance, that is closing balance of the asset at the end of the first year, or you can also call it at the beginning of the second year. Whatever the value of the asset will be there, we will calculate depreciation on that closing value. So for second year, depreciation will be calculated instead of on the value of 5 lakh, we will calculate depreciation on 4,50,000. 4,50,000 into 10%. So depreciation for the second year will only be 45,000. All right, and subtracting this 45,000 out of 4,05,000, 4,50,000, we will get 4,05,000. Everybody, is that clear? This is the closing value of the second year. I hope this is clear, everyone. Please confirm if this is not okay. And now, when we will be required to calculate depreciation for the third year. So again, in the third year, depreciation won't be calculated at the opening value. We won't be calculating depreciation on this value. Instead, depreciation will be calculated at the closing value of the second year, or you can also call it opening value of the third year. So this time depreciation will be calculated 10% on 4,05,000, which will be 40,500. And subtracting this, we will get the closing value of the third year. All right. So 4,05,000 minus 40,500. This will give us 3,64,000. So you're able to understand the difference. Like in this case, assuming that we have purchased an asset costing 5 lakh, and if we apply the straight line method to calculate depreciation, in that case, at the end of the third year, book value of that asset will only remain 3,50,000. But if on the same asset, we apply the different method of calculating depreciation, then the closing value of the asset at the end of the third year will be different. We're able to identify the difference now here. Like in case of the straight line method, we have got the closing value of 3,50,000, but in case of the straight line method, the written down value method, we have got 3,64,500. So what I'm trying to explain is that, like in case of the straight line method, we used to charge depreciation at the same value, right? We used to charge depreciation at the same value every time on the opening value of the asset. But under the written down value method, we calculate depreciation at the closing book value of the asset. All right, I hope this makes sense. I hope this is clear, everybody. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to discuss a small question, starting with the easy question, and gradually we will move to the difficult questions of this topic. So let's start with an easy question. Okay, so question number 10. It says a boiler was purchased. Boiler is nothing but you can consider this as a machine. Okay, the boiler was purchased from abroad for rupees 10,000. Shipping and forwarding charges 2,000. Import duty 7,000. Expenses of installation amounts to 1,000. It says calculate depreciation for the first 3 years separately for each year at the rate 10% per annum on diminishing balance method. All right, so it is asking us to calculate depreciation. It is not, question is not asking us to prepare the ledger in this question. It just requires us to calculate depreciation. We are not required to prepare ledger in this case. If you want to make a ledger, you can do that. But since the question is not asking for that, okay, let's do one thing. Let's calculate depreciation in this question by preparing ledger for the boiler. All right. So coming back to the notepad, this is solution to question number 10. Okay. So it says the boiler was purchased. Let's do one thing. Let's not make the boiler account this time. Let me check if we'll do that in the next question. Right now in question number 10, we will calculate depreciation without preparing the ledgers. All right. Okay. So boiler was purchased for rupees 10,000. Total cost of boiler. Can any one of you please tell me what will be the total cost of the boiler as per the question? Anyone please tell me?
Sir, 20,000.
Sir,
20,000 it will be right. 20,000. Calculate total value of the boiler. What we will do, we will add all the expenses incurred till the point of installation. So 10,000, which is the cost of boiler, including shipping, forwarding charges, import duty, and installation charges, all will be considered as the part of the cost of boiler. So adding all this, we will get 20,000 as the cost of boiler. Okay. And we need to calculate depreciation for 3 years. Huh? So let's do that. Okay. So we'll calculate depreciation for the first year. Let's depreciation.
sir, is this the format for doing it?
No, there is no specific format of solving this question. Since I'm not preparing the ledger, so you can present the solution in any manner, whichever you seems appropriate. All right. So this is a general presentation of this question. There is no specific format. The total cost of boiler is 20,000. We will be subtracting depreciation for the first year depreciation. The first year depreciation will be calculated on this value on 20,000. We will calculate depreciation at the rate of 10% per annum. Assuming that this machine must have been purchased on the first day of the financial year. I'm assuming that this boiler must have been purchased on 1st of April for a particular year. So I'm charging the depreciation for the entire 1 year period, so which will be 20,000 and into 10% will be 1,000. All right, and at the end of the first year, the balancing value, which is also called written down value, written down value or also called WDV at the end of first year. you can just write written down value. This is it. This will be sufficient. So after subtracting the depreciation at the end of the year, the closing value or the written down value of this asset will be, of this boiler will be 18,000. All right. Then we will calculate depreciation for the next year.
Sir, so for the first year depreciation, the value should be 2,000, right?
Yeah, this is 2,000. Sorry. It's not 20,000. It's 2,000. The second year's depreciation will be, we'll calculate second year's depreciation, and that will be calculated on the written down value of the previous year. So this time we'll calculate depreciation on 18,000 into 10%, which is 1,800. And subtracting this, we will get the written down value. We can simply write this as WDV of the second year. Okay, so written down value will be 18,000 minus 1,800. We'll get 16,200. This is the written down value of the boiler at the end of the second year, right? And then similarly, since question is requiring us to calculate depreciation for the 3-year period, we will calculate depreciation for the third year as well. Let's third year's depreciation. And that will be 16,200 into 10%. Right? We are calculating depreciation at same rate, but we are not calculating depreciation on the same value. We are calculating depreciation at the on the written down value. That is the closing value of the previous year. So on 16,200, then you will calculate 10% of it. It will be 1620. And subtracting this, we will get the closing value of the third year. So WDV of the third year will be 16,200 minus 1620, right? Which is 14,580. So this is at the end of the third year, the value of the boiler will remain 14,580. However, at the beginning of the first year, it was 20,000. So after 3 years period, boiler will depreciate to 14,580. Now the question arises, sir, what is the total depreciation for the 3-year period? The total depreciation of the 3 years period will be 2,000 plus 1,800 plus 1,620. So let me show you total depreciation for the 3-year period. For 3 financial year. Equals to 2,000 for the first year. For the second year, it was 1,800. For the third year, depreciation was 1,620. So adding all this, 1,620 plus 2,000 plus 1,800, we will get 5,420. This is the total depreciation of this boiler for the 3 financial years. I hope this is clear, everybody. Please tell me if it is clear or not.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any one of you is still writing this? Let me know if anyone is still writing it, so
No,
that
sir.
no, everybody is done. Dan, Labiba, done. Anybody
Yes,
want
sir.
this tool?
Done.
Done. All right, Labiba, you're done as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So that is what question requires in this question. We were just required to calculate depreciation. Question did not ask for the formation of the ledger for the 3 financial years. So therefore, I presented the solution this way. Otherwise, we need to prepare the ledgers that we will have to do in the next question. Anyway, so if question would have asked for the a boiler account, then we would have prepared the boiler account this way, right? This is the solution of this question if it requires the ledger to be prepared. And as you can see, by preparing the ledger as well, you will be getting the closing balance at 14,580. I'm sure everybody is able to see that. At the end of this ledger, below, right hand side, you can see balance series 14,580. All right. And for the first year, on the credit side, you can see the depreciation is 2,000. In the second year, we charge depreciation 1,800. And in the third year, we have got 1,620 as the depreciation. Okay, so you can take the screenshot if you want. If question requires you, if in any question you'll be asked to prepare the boiler's account or any account and calculate depreciation by WDV method, this way you can prepare the ledger. Okay, moving to the next question, question number 11. All right. Question number 11. Let's read this question once and then we'll start with the solution. It says original cost of furniture amounts to 4,000. Show the ledger account as it will appear during the first 4 financial years. 4 years if it was decided to write off 5% per annum on the diminishing balance of the asset each year. Diminishing balance method question wants us to apply, calculate depreciation in this question. Question is pretty simple. It just tells us about the cost of furniture. Nothing else is being purchased or sold in the year. All it requires us to do, prepare ledger and calculate depreciation by applying the WDV method. So this is an easy question. I'm sure all of you will also be able to solve this. But anyways, let me solve this question for you and I'll be giving you some other question to try. Okay. So solution to question number 11. Question requires us to prepare the ledger for the furniture. No? So furniture account will have to prepare. Okay. So it says that furniture was purchased for 4,000 in the first year, assuming that it must have been purchased on 1st of April of a particular year. And we'll write this as to bank, right? Bank account and 4,000. And since no other transaction have,
Voice is lagging.
my voice is lagging. Is it better now? Is it better, everybody? Everyone, am I audible to all of you? So your voice is not clear. Manisha is saying, Ratika, Zainab, Labiba, please confirm if I'm audible and my audio is clear or not.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
It's clear for Ratika and Zainab. Labiba, please confirm if I'm audible to you clearly or not. Yes, okay. So Manisha, kindly check your internet connection. I think it seems to have problem, some problem from your end. Kindly check your internet speed. Because I have, as I can see, my internet connection is stable and I am getting a pretty good speed right now. It's 46 Mbps now. Right. I think that this is fair enough speed to stream the class. There seems to have some problem from your end. Kindly reconnect. Because she already left the session. All right, everyone else. So, see. So, this is the opening balance of the opening. This is the purchase value of the condition. And no other transaction have taken place in the current year. So we can simply calculate depreciation on this value. Depreciation, we calculate depreciation on 31st of March of the first year. For the first year, it will be by depreciation account, right? Depreciation will be calculated on what amount? So it will be calculated on 4,000 at the rate of 5% per annum. It will be 200. Depreciation for the first year will be 200. And after charging depreciation, we will calculate the closing balance of the first year. As on 31st of March, closing balance, that is by balance CD, will be 4,000 minus the amount of depreciation, which was 200. So that is 3,800, right? This is the account for the first year. 4,000 and 4,000 on the other side. Manisha, my voice is clear to you now?
Yes, sir. Now
Is it better? Okay. Now see, this is the furniture account for the first year, right? And now whatever the balance, closing balance that we have got, this is also called WDV. This is the written down value of the furniture at the end of the first year. So this written down value needs to be carried forward to the next year as the opening balance of the next year, right? I'm sure all of you already know that. So let me carry this to the next year. Okay. Now I'll carry forward this as the opening balance of the next year. 1st April of next year. And I'll write this as 2 balance BD. Which will be 3,800. And no other transaction have taken place. I can simply calculate depreciation on this value on 31st of March of the next year. We'll calculate depreciation by depreciation. But this time we will calculate depreciation on the closing value of the previous year, which is 3,800. 3,800 into 5%. This is how much? 3,800 into 5% is 109. All right, and now we will find out the closing balance of this year. by balance CD for the next year will be 3800 minus 190, which is 3610. And now we will close this account by totaling both sides. So with 3800 and 3800. Got it? Is this clear, everybody? This is the
Yes,
account for the next, for the 2 years. Now we'll have to prepare the ledger for the next year as well, for the third and fourth year. Anyone finding it difficult to understand, let me know that I can explain to you again. All right. Now see, this is the closing balance of the previous year, which will be taken forward the next year as the opening balance. We'll write down on 1st of April of the next year to balance BD 3610. And since no other transaction have taken place in the next year as well, so on this entire value, we'll calculate depreciation. So on 31st of March of the next year, that means at the end of the third year, we will be calculating depreciation at the written down value of the previous year. Depreciation will be calculated this time on 3610 into 5%, which is 180.5. All right, and now we will calculate the closing balance of the third year by balance CD, which is 3610 minus 180.5, depreciation of the third year. So 180. Just a moment. 3610 minus 180.5. Closing value will be 3429.3429.5. This is the third year WDV, written down value. And on this value, we'll calculate depreciation of the fourth year. But before that, we need to carry forward this value to the next year as the opening value of the next year. All right, now we will carry forward this value as the opening value of the next year. We'll write down again on 1st of April to balance BD 3429.5. And again at the end of the fourth year, we will calculate depreciation as on 31st of March of the fourth year by depreciation. This time depreciation will be calculated at the written down value of the third year, which is 3429.5, and on this amount we'll calculate depreciation at 5% per annum, which is 171.47. Right. And then after this, we'll find out the closing balance of the fourth year, or the written down value of the fourth year by balance CD. And that will be calculated by subtracting 171.47 out of 349.5. And 171.349.5 minus 171.47. This will be 3258.03. 3258.0. This is the closing balance or the written down value of the furniture at the end of the fourth year. 3258.03. 3258.03. Got it, everyone? Is this clear? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is our final. We prepared the account for the fourth financial year. It's for the furniture. So this is the first year, and the second year. First year for the second year, for the third year, and finally for the fourth year. I hope this is clear, everybody. Everybody done writing this? Janab, Ladiba, Vanisha, repeat.
Yes, sir. Done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I have the other question, question number 12. This question is little difficult comparing with the previous one, but not that difficult that you cannot even try. I think you can do that on your own. I want you to try this at least once. It says Babu purchased on 1st of April 2017 a machine for rupees 6,000. On 1st of October 2017, he also purchased another machine. That means in the same year, he purchased one more machine for rupees 5,000. On 1st of October, in the next financial year, in the year 2018, he sold the machine purchased on 1st of April 2017 for 4,000. It was decided that depreciation at 10% per annum was to be written off every year under the diminishing balance method. All right. The question is requiring us to show the machinery account for the year ended 31st of March 2018 and 19. So basically, question requires us to prepare the machinery account for the two financial years, starting with 2017-18 and then 18-19. All right. I think, I'm sure, in fact, the question is clear. Ratika, Zainab, Labiba, Vanisha. Everybody, this question is clear to all of you or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, do you want to try this question? Do you think you will be able to do this on your own? Let me. So let's do one thing. I'm giving you 10 minutes to solve this question. Try solving it within 10 minutes. And if you're not able to do that, I'll help you out. I'll show you the correct solution of this question. Zainab, Labiba, Vanisha, Ritika. Is that clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so start solving it. Zainab, Vanisha, Labiba, and Ritika. I'm waiting for your answer. Done, everyone? Ritika, Zainab, Labiba, Manisha, please confirm if you're done or not. Or also let me know if you are still doing it.
So we're doing.
Okay, Labiba is doing. Ritika is doing, Labiba is also doing. Zainab and Manisha, what about you?
So still doing.
Okay. All right. So, can any one of you please tell me the depreciation for the first year? I'm sure all of you must have calculated that. I'm sure all of you must have calculated the depreciation for the first year. Ritika, Zainab, Labiba, Manisha, any one of you? Depreciation on machine for the first year only. Ritika, Zainab, Labiba, Manisha. Guys, what happened? I'm audible to all of you now. Kindly tell me the depreciation for the first year. Ritika, guys, am I audible? Yeah, Ritika, did you say something? Ritika couldn't hear you. Could you please tell me the answer for the first year? I just wanted to know the depreciation for the first year only.
Sir, the balance amount or
That's the depreciation. That's the depreciation for the first year, Ritika.
sir, it's for the total of both the
Hmm.
machines?
Yeah, total of both the machines.
It's 1,100, sir.
1,100. You are getting 1,100. I think this is wrong. Just asking for the first year depreciation for both the machine. Anybody please tell me other than Ritika? Labiba, Zainab, Anisha. No one is responding. Guys, we are out of time, and since you haven't completed it, so I'm giving this question as a homework to you. Try solving the question. Let me tell you the answer. I'm telling you the closing value of the at the end of the second year. You should get closing balance as 4,275. 4,275 will be the balance CD at the end of second year. That is 2018-19. If you got this, if you get 4,275, that means you have done it correctly. All right. So kindly note this answer somewhere so that when you solve this question, you can refer to the answer as well. Okay. Apart from question number 12, I'm giving you one more question for the homework. Try solving question number 13 as well. Kindly take the screenshot of this question, please. All of you, please take the screenshot. This question is also requires us to calculate depreciation by the written down value method. All right, can you take the screenshot? So these two questions will be homework. Done, everyone? Done with the screenshot, all of you? Labiba, Zainab, Vanisha, Ratika.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is it for today's class, guys. We'll discuss more about the written down value method, and probably the next class will be the last class of this chapter. Maybe. All right, so I have 2 or 3 more questions to discuss based on the written down value method. Then we'll be done with the chapter, and after that we'll try to start a new chapter, which is final accounts. All right. So this is it for today's session. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Goodbye. You can now leave the session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good evening, Prerna.